All right, what's the deal with all these videos popping up claiming that allegedly in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, people had their TV broadcasts interrupted for about 3 minutes? This happened just in the last couple of days. And during that time, a message supposedly from the Anunnaki aired, acknowledging the current chaos among humans, warning of severe weather events coming, and then saying that they were going to help. And then, right after that, people in these same areas reported seeing fireballs streaking across the sky, like multiple reports. So yes, this sounds completely crazy, and I am skeptical, but I'm also open-minded enough to ask. There actually was a TV broadcast interruption in southern England in 1977 where a group claimed to be Ashtar Galactic Command, and they talked about human awakening. So I'm being open-minded. Was it something like that? Has anyone seen this alleged Anunnaki broadcast firsthand? Do you have video of it or know someone who does? Drop any links, videos, or stories in the comments. I'm actually very curious.
This is the voice of Remy, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. For many years you have seen us as lights in the skies. We speak to you now, you say the same as we have done to your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you. This is in order that you may share in the great awakening as the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius. The new age will be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of the evil forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now, and retreat. For your chance may not come again. All your weapons of evil must be removed. The time for conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution, if you show yourselves worthy to do this. You have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this, and exist to pass on the light of the dawning new age to you. You are free to accept the protected teachings of those who learn to live.
Many go as wide as this. Then they run out.
Spiritual evolution. Here now, the voice of Remy, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false prophets and guides at present operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it to evil ends, giving you worthless toss in return. But your divine self will protect you from this. You must learn to be sensitive to the voice within you. That can tell you what is true and what is learn to listen to the voice of truth.
It's such a
This is our message.
I really appreciate that we can't do. I insist so little, full of only really choice ingredients. I can
Cats have 9 lives.
Have no fear. Keep on learning yourself and just come with the ways of your planet Earth. With the Ashtar Galactic Command, thank you for your attention. Beyond the evil planes of your existence, may you be blessed by the supreme love and true wisdom. Use your imagination.
allegedly, we've had our first communication with the Anunnaki this weekend. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, after the alleged meteorite fell to the ground, a message from the Anunnaki allegedly came through in Alabama, and more specifically Georgia, during a national television broadcast. In this alleged message that lasted for up to 3 minutes, the Anunnaki message claimed to say that they knew about the galactic war that was going on above us in space. They knew about the wars here on Earth. They also knew about the meteorite that fell to the ground, which it wasn't a meteorite. They also claimed that a lot more weird and bizarre and unexpected weather conditions and anomalies would be taking place in the coming months. In this message, the Anunnaki did claim to say that they are here to help. They are not here for any other thing, but they are here to help mankind. Now, have you heard this? And are you perhaps someone who actually saw this message? Now, I have received videos and stories and messages from people claiming all of these things, but I specifically want to know if you've heard about this. Do you know about this? Or did you see this? Because after I went down the rabbit hole, a lot of the things are adding up. But I want to hear from all of you, because after the meteorite fell, this message has now come across our screens. So,
aliens warning humans to stay silent. Aliens warning humans to stay silent. You know, I wouldn't even think that was a worthy topic, except for what the White House pulled just yesterday. Now they're trying to tell people who live in New Jersey and other places that they didn't see what they thought they saw. They're trying to do the old Jedi mind trick. These are not the drones you're looking for.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
So to get this straight, the government is saying that these flying UAPs don't belong to any of our national adversaries. They don't belong to the federal government. They don't belong to high-tech contractors, and they don't know where they're coming from. Well, maybe it's the truth, or maybe it is another example of aliens warning humans to stay silent.
Let's talk about this picture and the dark secret behind it. These photos started popping up and going viral everywhere. It was a picture of alien beings landing somewhere in South America. Now you can see the aliens looking like they're having a good time and vibing. Hold on, I'm hungry. Let's see what we got today. Ooh, fried snow crab legs. This is from the Raiders Claw truck here in Vegas. Look on Yelp if you're in Vegas and find these. Look at this! And look at this shrimp. Woo! Tastes like your grandma's booty. See, the aliens didn't come to just take pictures. Don't cap, them aliens look like you. I ain't even gonna lie, they got your head and everything. I can never take things serious. But the story behind these pictures will send chills down your spine. You see, one of the people in that area that was taking pictures with the aliens claimed that the aliens came down to warn them of an asteroid headed right towards Earth. They said it was coming pretty fast and that it was bigger than the asteroid that took out the dinosaurs. And our government knows this, but refuses to tell us in fear that we'll freak out and cause chaos. Before we continue, let's settle this. What's better, crab legs or wings? Comment below. Let's see who wins. The government says they simply can't save all of us. The aliens saying that the higher up governments have been creating technologies over the years because they've known this asteroid was coming and are going to be making a trip to Mars soon. They've been flying rovers and robots over to Mars using AI to help build and prepare cities on Mars for when they come. The sad thing is that they said that the governments are planning to leave us behind, but take their families, friends, and anyone that's important to building society, like doctors, scientists, etc. Instead of focusing on destroying the asteroid, they think it's better to just let us all die, because Earth is too populated anyway. See, the aliens were down to take pictures and interact with the people when they came down. But soon after, the government had came and confiscated all cameras, took some people with them and the aliens. And luckily for us, the family that leaked all this had escaped just in time to post it on the internet. Now that these photos have gone viral, the government is trying to cover it up, claiming that the photos are AI generated and not real, calling them a hoax. But what do you believe? Are the pictures real or fake? And how will you be preparing for when the asteroid comes?
Massive fleet of orbs over Iran 2026. What's happening?
نرو جلو بایست نگاهشون کن دارن میچسبن. There are people here that have the ability to predict the future. And Chris Bledsoe was one of them. But when he told people what happened to him when one of those orbs came down and spoke to him, y'all thought he was lying. If you don't know, Chris Bledsoe told the Pentagon in 2012, and one of these orbs that he saw came down out of the sky and was a woman. And this woman told him that she was the divine feminine. He also told him something that was going to happen in 2026. Mind you, this is in 2012. She basically told him the world is about to change because they can't lie to us anymore. The veil is broken. We are living in the age of Aquarius. But it's not what she told him. It's how she told him. She told him that when Israel and Iran exchanged missiles, she told him in 2026, when Israel and Iran exchange missiles, the veil is going to be broken. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
I'll tell you what they
Listen.
Recently.
Listen to this man.
Was, and I put this in writing to the Pentagon in 2012 when I told this. Okay?
2012.
One thing she told me was, when you see Iran and Israel exchanging missiles, and I saw it, the way she tells me is a vision of, I see it like a living picture screen. I could see the rockets flying. Then all of a sudden, orbs appeared out of the ocean and everywhere.
This is crazy.
And I told the government, if this happens, the orb's going to appear and wake people up and stop it. That's what she told me.
April 2026.
Yeah.
And okay, you know you've put yourself in it there, Chris.
It's
because
okay. It's okay.
It's going to be Chris Bledsoe says April 2026 is when it all happens.
But I can tell you this, when I told this to the government about 2026, I just repeated what she told me. They immediately put remote viewers on it. And all of a sudden, all the remote viewers are saying, oh my God, 2026, 2027, something is going to happen.
This man said when he told the government put remote viewers on her. You're all right. Okay. I'm out.
هواپیما نیست ببین چه نوری داره
تهران نگاه کن
ناپدید
شو
سرعتی داره باورم نمیشه هواپیما نیست ببین چه نوری داره
تهران نگاه کن ناپدید شو
Is it just me, or is anyone else thinking about that 27-year-old like web bot? That it was in 2009, this web bot made a prediction. It predicted that Donald Trump would be president in 2016. And then it predicted that Donald Trump would go on a podcast with Joe Rogan. And that was before Joe Rogan had a podcast. So it was really random and weird at the time. But now Joe Rogan had Donald Trump on his podcast that back then didn't exist. And then after that, it said 39 days after that podcast with Joe Rogan that there would be a war in the skies between our military and UFOs. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, just because it's 8 days from now. That's all. And because the other stuff came true. Hopefully we don't start anything, because it seems like they don't mess with us unless we start something. They're genuinely, they seem very peaceful. So we'd have to really
NASA accidentally captured a UFO as they were live streaming from the ISS for all the world to see. Now this has to be the first UFO that we've seen in outer space. This video has just come out and I don't even think NASA noticed it when it was happening. But people that were watching the stream captured this video of a UFO. So we had to zoom in to be able to see it, but as you can see there's this little dot that's moving across the screen. Now people will tell you it's probably just a satellite, but just watch the way that it moves. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So this is just a few seconds later, and as you can see, the UFO is going to start moving up and then over. And I don't think a satellite would necessarily do that. Here's a sped up version so that you can see its path and how it moves, because it's definitely not natural movement. And here's a zoomed in shot of what we're looking at. This is what we were just seeing move across the screen. Brother, that is not a satellite. So could this possibly be our first actual, for real UFO sighting? Let me know in the comments what you guys think.
They just confirmed aliens are from our oceans and they have proof of it. In the Oversight Committee hearing that was broadcasted worldwide, 4 witnesses, including a retired Navy commander, confirmed to Congress that non-human higher intelligence exists and we're in possession of their technology. They said we have UAP material and bioorganic material, and so does every other country, and behind closed doors, they're all in a race trying to reverse engineer the technology that they have. They said they have video evidence of them appearing from the oceans all across the world, and they've been here much longer than us. We've seen the UAPs move and react so quickly, and based on their technology, they believe they're being controlled by a mind-body connection. He said that some of these beings appear to be interdimensional and that a human can withstand up to 9 Gs of force before suffering fatal consequences, but the technology they're working on is producing upwards of 3,000 Gs. Now, this is only the tip of the iceberg compared to what the government is not telling us, but let me know what you guys think about all of this, and I'll keep you guys updated.
It actually happened. Oh my god, aliens are from our oceans, confirmed today in the Oversight Committee hearing, a live stream that was broadcasted all over the world. The 4 witnesses, which included a retired Navy commander, a rear admiral, confirmed to the Oversight Committee of Congress, hey, they are real. We have UAP materials and bioorganic materials. Not just us. Every other country behind closed doors is doing a secret advanced arms race trying to reverse engineer all the technology that they found. They said they're from our oceans. We have 4K video evidence of them appearing from the ocean out of Kuwait, out of Africa, the East Coast, the West Coast, Mexico. Every continent on this planet has UAP video evidence, all leaving our oceans. They say it's not human, it is an intelligent.
In 4 days from now, we're being presented with proof that the UFO and UAP phenomena exists. Yes, you heard that correct. On Monday, April 7th, Jake Barber and the Skywatcher Group will be releasing groundbreaking data, which allegedly includes footage of a Tic Tac UAP encounter captured with radar, special instruments, and cameras. And it's not just blurry dots in the sky. We're talking about allegedly clear evidence verified through rigorous step-by-step framework designed to filter out anything but the real deal. So Skywatcher, led by Jake Barber, has been developing a structured scientific approach to proving the existence of UAP. This includes methods like electromechanical signaling and neuromeditative interaction. So these are 2 cutting-edge techniques that have shown repeatable success in attracting UAPs, according to Barber. And guess what? The footage they're releasing on April 7th involves a Tic Tac. So Barber says they've tracked it, imaged it, and gathered radar data showing that it dropped from over 80,000 feet. That's mind-blowing. And according to Barber, the Tic Tac appeared for several days in broad daylight. He said that this is the most concrete evidence we've seen yet, and they're ready to share it with the world. Set your reminders for April 7th. This could be the most important UAP reveal to date. So stay tuned for updates. We don't want to miss any of this.
You killed him? No, they killed them.
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with casualties! Everybody else, he has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb on him! Bomb? Mate, he's got a lad, he's got a bomb on his jacket, mate. He's trying to go into school. Mate, he stabbed him. He's got a gun. No, he's got a bomb. out of here. Mate, if he detonates that mate, I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button. Come on. No, shoot him. Hell. He's got bombs on him. He's got bombs attached to him. Get the here while he's got bombs.
The moon is not natural. According to insider accounts, it's an artificial satellite, a massive spacecraft placed in orbit over 11,000 years ago. It's not solid rock, it's hollow, and beneath the surface, it's made of metal. Even more disturbing, it has the ability to leave Earth's orbit. NASA photos from the 1960s allegedly show structures on the far side of the moon. Massive bridges, miles long, towering monuments, and what appear to be active bases. Astronauts saw them, but the public never did. Because what's really on the moon changes everything we've been told about space.
We walked over to one side of the lab and he said, by the way, we've discovered a base on the back side of the moon. And I said, whose? What do you mean, whose? He said, yes, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And at that point, I became frightened, and I was a little terrified, thinking to myself that if anybody walks in the room now, I know we're in jeopardy, we're in trouble, because he shouldn't be giving me this information. And then he pulled out one of these mosaics and showed this base, which had geometric shapes. There were towers, there were spherical buildings. There were very tall towers and things that looked somewhat like radar dishes, but they were large structures. I realized that he was telling me this information because he didn't have anybody else to talk to. Now, probably in that laboratory, he was probably one of the few enlisted people, and he was a worker bee. And he had a high-level security clearance, obviously. But he couldn't share that information with anybody else. And in those days, we didn't. When you had your security clearance, you took it seriously. If I compare it to what I'm seeing now, because I do have photographs that have artifacts in them that are similar to what I saw, they're massive. Some of the structures are, half a mile in size. So they're huge structures. And they're all different size structures in different photographs. You would have to have an above top secret security clearance, which generally would be cryptologic or above. In my case, I ultimately did have a cryptologic security clearance, and when I did have that clearance, I had access to all of the imagery from the U-2s, from the satellite photography. I had access to everything we were doing. Now, the thing that was interesting about my job as an electronics technician, I got to go into every area of the facility. I got to go into the war room at SAC, Strategic Air Command, and did maintenance on equipment there. So I would see a lot of data that people generally wouldn't see with my rank. Normally you would go into your job, you'd do your one little task. If you were a photographic interpreter, that's all you did. You didn't discuss what you did with anyone else. If you worked on U2 imagery, you worked on U2 imagery. If you worked on satellite imagery, you worked on satellite imagery. But you didn't discuss your job with anyone else. And you only did your task.
heavy, ain't she? Hey, watch this. I'm trying to keep it steady. Hey, you seeing this? Didn't expect them this early. Hey, Command, we got a couple lights coming over the horizon, requesting clearance to investigate the contact. Copy that. We're rolling east. Surface looks smooth ahead. Those three lights are still holding steady. Haven't moved a hair. Picking up a gentle rise. Steady at 7 clicks. Wheels are holding. Hey, you think it's the commies? I think I prefer the little green men. You seeing this, Ed? Yep. We're definitely not in Kansas no more.
Minutes into the process, he said to me in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings, and towers. And at that point I was very concerned because I knew we were working on compartmentalized security. He had breached security, and I was actually frightened at that moment. And I did not question him any further. And a few moments later, someone did come into the room. I worked there for 3 more days, and I remember going home and naively thinking, I can't wait to hear about this on the evening news. And here it is, more than 30 years later, and I hope we hear about it tonight. And I will testify under oath before Congress that what I'm saying is the truth.
Well, I remember actually going to the moon base. So there is a moon base. It's hollow. Yep. It's artificial structure. It's come from another part of the galaxy, transporting other ET races here. We flew there. Now, the transportation was interesting at the time. We were catapulted it's like a tube, and there was no propulsion. We were slingshotted from the gravity of Earth to the gravity of the moon. We hooked it, and then came in. We landed on the far side of the moon. We came into a base where the doors opened. We went inside. Now, once we're inside, that's when things got interesting. That's when we started to have our integration. Now, we'd already had a little bit of integration with little grays. Little grays had come in. We'd learned more telepathy from them, some other skills that they taught us, how to work with the looking glass technology and so forth. Now we're actually going to work with big grays, the large grays. So the large grays are, I look at the little grays as basically being cloned little slaves, unfortunately. And they basically do whatever they're told to do. The large grays are thinkers. They're the ones that are proactive, have free will, like we have free will, and they're working with us. So they were kind of standoffish to us because, we're not advanced. So, and that's the way it was. Really, all the different ETs that we saw in there, and I saw many different types. They usually had their own areas inside there. We had our own area. There's large cities inside the moon, and different size cities throughout the moon.
In 1977, we got a message from space with literal instructions on how to respond, and we spent 47 years arguing about whether it was real. The WOW signal. You know it? That's the famous 72-second burst from space that scientists have been debating, was it aliens, a comet, or Earth interference? Here's the thing, nobody actually tried to read it. Like, what does 6EQUJ5 actually mean? So I did, and oh my god, we're idiots. The signal is 6EQUJ5. Those values sum to exactly 100. Okay, cool. Random number, right? Except immediately after the signal, the computer recorded 011-001-00. That's 100 in binary. They sent us a checksum. Like when you download a file and it verifies whether it got corrupted. They literally open their message with, here's how to verify data integrity. And we've been sitting here for 47 years like, but is it aliens though? But wait, it gets so much better. The peak of the signal is the letter U. That's the 21st letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, 21st letter, U, right? The signal was broadcast at the hydrogen line, 21 centimeter wavelengths. They peaked the signal at the 21st letter to match the 21 centimeter wavelength. That's not coincidence. That's someone putting the signature on a document. We're out here like, could have been a comet that understands Fibonacci and the alphabet. Yeah, sure. And here's where it goes from neat to we should be embarrassed. 72 seconds long, that's the transmission duration we should be using. 6 data points, that's how many packets to send back. Value in base 36 encoding, that's the format. And the sum equals verification code, that includes a checksum. It's communication protocols, like Wi-Fi setup instructions. We've literally been arguing about whether someone sent us mail and they sent us a user's manual on how to reply. Here's another thing that blew my mind. The signal goes from 6, 14, 26, and peaks at 30, then drops down to 19. The ratio, 19 divided by 30, it's phi. It's the golden ratio, 0.618. The pattern that shows up literally everywhere in galaxy spirals, nautilus shells, pine cones, you name it. They encoded it into the signal pattern itself, and it's like a watermark that screams, this is intelligent design. Oh yeah, but probably just some space weather that understands sacred geometry. The values themselves, they might be giving us a map. 5 light years, that's Alpha Centauri. 6 light years, Bernard's star. 14 light years, Epsilon Eridani. And 30 light years is Tau Ceti. Every single one of these is a real star system with confirmed exoplanets that we've been studying. They're not saying we're here. They're saying we're in one of these systems. Pick up the phone. It's like somebody sending you their address and you spend 50 years being like, I wonder if I just got a message. Okay, last thing, and it's the weirdest one. If you convert the signal to base 4, the same way DNA works with 4 nucleotides, the sequence becomes GGG GCT. That codes for glycine and alanine, the 2 simplest amino acids, the ones that probably formed first anywhere organic chemistry happens. They're not just speaking math, they're speaking in the language of life itself. It's like saying, we're carbon-based like you. We've evolved the same chemistry like you, and we understand who you are and what you are. And we're sitting here be like, oh yeah, but was that a signal though? Here's why we missed it. We were waiting for it to repeat, because that's what beacons do. Beep, 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 forever, right? But that's not how intelligent communication works. We don't send an email 50 times. We send it once and wait for a response. The wow signal was 72 seconds because that's the complete message. It had everything: identification, verification, protocols, location data, biological signature. It was supposed to be a one and done message. Message sent, your turn. We've been standing at the mailbox being like, well, if it was real mail, they would send it again, right? No, dude, they sent it. We are supposed to write back. Check this out. Wow and ASCII, if you add up the values, it equals 350. Divide that by the golden ratio, 216. That's 6 cubed. 6 is the third power. 6 is the first value in the signal. Even the name we gave it mathematically connects back to the message. I don't know if that's the universe being poetic or if Jerry Emmons subconsciously picked up on the pattern, but it makes me feel things. So what do we do now? Here's the thing, we can respond right now. The signal tells us everything we need. What frequency we use? 1420 megahertz. How to structure it? 72 seconds, 6 packets. What pattern to send? Base 36 with a checksum. Where to aim? Sagittarius, where it came from. You could literally do this with a ham radio equipment, like personally, in your backyard. There are people with gear sitting in their garage who could send humanity's response, and we're just not. Because we're still debating if it's real after half a century while holding the instruction manual. The wow signal wasn't a mystery. It was a protocol specification. It wasn't asking, are you there? It was saying, here's how we talk. Here's where we are, who we are, and where to find us. And for 47 years, we've been treating it like a freaking Rorschach test. Instead of reading the actual words on the page. The message wasn't, we exist. The message was, call us back using these instructions. So like, should we? Like if you think we should. Comment if you want to see part 2 on how to build a response transmitter with $500 in your backyard. And follow for more mind-bending